everyone. I'm so excited to be back on Instagram Live. I have a very exciting award to give out. We give out one award a year for making a big impact in the community. And last year, our award went to Kareem Wells, who's an incredible entertainer here in Chicago. And he's doing such great work in the community and the South Side. And I am just so excited to give out an award today. Now, hold on. I am not accepting. I'm getting JoAnn Gregoli into Instagram Live. She is our Impact Award winner for 2020. She has done such incredible work in the community. As we wait to let her in, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what she's doing since the pandemic has started. She was one of the first in New York, again, JoAnn Gregoli, to go out and help those first responders and to help the healthcare workers and to give them PPE that they need. She had a team of people making masks. She had an incredible group of people delivering food to these healthcare workers. I think I cried on the phone when she told me all the things that she was doing. I was just so impressed. And now she's helping nursing homes, battered women's shelters. She is just an inspiration. And so we're going to wait for JoAnn. And JoAnn, if you can't get in, you can exit out and then come back in and ask a request to come in, and I will invite you in. But just wanted to really give a huge shout out to JoAnn Gregoli for all the amazing work that she has done over, my God, I would say since the very, very beginning of the pandemic. And I just am so proud to call her a friend of PartySlate, and Elegant Affairs is the name of her company. And I'm like, holding off, waiting for JoAnn to join us. Here she is. I am viewing a request and going live. JoAnn, are you joining me? She's coming, guys. Hi, JoAnn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so excited to give you our Impact Award this year. You have big shoes to fill. Paige, working with the Birthday Party Project was our first award winner. And last year you were at our party in New York where we gave our award to Kareem Wells for all the great work he's doing in the community. You really stood out to our PartySlate team and literally hitting the ground running, helping with PPE, helping organizing food to frontline workers when this pandemic hit. And it seemed like it was a matter of days that you were mobilizing resources. And so so many people have asked me to share a little glimpse of what you've been doing. Could you talk us through what happened when the pandemic first hit, and how did you know what to do and how to help people?
Oh gosh, when it first hit, I was just, awestruck about what was happening and really just stifled because all of our work had stopped. And so that was the first business, at the moment. But I have a daughter on the front lines and a son on the front lines. And it was my daughter who kind of made me aware. She called me, she goes, "Mom, I'm going into the ER and I have no PPE. There's no PPE for us, only for the doctors, and I don't know what to do." And as a mama bear, I was like, I can't let my daughter go into war without protective equipment. That's how I felt. So I started to make masks for her and her team in Long Island. And then I realized that the situation was far more grave. There was a lot more hospitals and nurses who did not have what they needed. So just out of desperation and out of concern, I started sewing. Then I realized that we needed a lot more help. So I reached out to Facebook moms, people I never met in my life. Wow. And I said, listen, I need some help. I need some help sewing. Within 24 hours, I had 25 people, moms. And then within a week, I had 250 moms and dads working around the clock sewing. And to date, we have distributed over 60,000 masks across the country. And we're still going. Right now, this week alone, I shipped out another 10,000 masks and scrub caps. So really what turned into is really just a mission of someone trying to protect their child, turned into a mission to protect as many people as I could. I just felt as if you can't send in these workers and not be protected. And it was just really just a labor of love and concern is really what it turned out into.
That's amazing. And the fact that, so many people are like, it hit New York, the largest first. I remember when we were talking in Chicago, it not yet hit us. And then when it hit Chicago in a big way, you're like, oh my God, these doctors and nurses are heroes. And the fact that they're sharing masks and they're having paper bags and not having enough is just, so scary. And to have your own daughter on the front lines.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. I couldn't sit back. And obviously lack of work was a concern and lack of money for me, like all of us. But you know what? When you turn your situation into a positive situation and you realize that there are far more people much worse off than we are, the negative becomes a positive.
Yeah.
And when you shine a light away from yourself and you look at other people, the situation doesn't feel as bad. And I think that's how I've weathered these 10 months of zero income, was to really shift my focus onto what needed to be done versus that I needed to eat. I knew I'd find a way, to take care of myself. But I knew that those poor people were in a much, much worse situation. I had a roof over my head. My kids were healthy. We were safe. Other people weren't so lucky. So it really was a shift of mindset. And I think that is what has kept me going for these 10 months, to be perfectly honest with you, because there are many times I could have broken down in tears and felt, poor me, what am I going to do? Oh my God, my entire career, 30 years down the tubes, is how we all felt. But when you shifted it, it didn't become that. I was busier then than I've ever been, because I literally was taking care of all these people, and I didn't feel so bad anymore. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. This is temporary.
When you feel like you're helping others, it helps to keep you motivated and inspired. And I know you were, delivering food. You were doing so many different things. How over the course of the pandemic have the needs, changed, and what are some additional things? Because I know you're still doing active, gift giving for kids that don't have things for Christmas. Like, I'm just amazed at all the amazing things you're doing. What are some of those new things that you're doing?
Well, once we know that we had the hospitals under control, someone reached out to me and says, hey, listen, these battered women's shelters are in desperate need. And I didn't even think of battered women's shelters, to be perfectly honest with you. But once I spoke to the battered women's shelters across the country, I realized that they were in a far more grave situation, because these women were battering in place with their batterers. They couldn't leave. Yeah. Right. And once you saw that, you're like, oh my God, I have to do something. I have to help these people. So let me tell you something. When you meet these women and you realize what they've been through, our situation is not so bad. Yeah. It's not so terrible. So we just did a toy drive, because we realized that these poor kids, had to leave their homes and didn't have toys. So we just delivered, I think, 75 toys the other day to a bunch of shelters. And just to see the smile on these kids' faces, it just makes it so much more worth it. It just brings joy to your heart. Even we're still seeing pictures being sent to us, from the hospital workers, because we're still helping them. And when you see their mask and you see their scrub caps and their smiles, all your worries go away. You don't even care anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm making a difference. I don't really care about anything else in this world. And it just puts a perspective into life. You know what I mean? It puts life into perspective very quickly. Yes. Very quickly. I think, our industry is very, visual, right? We're very materialistic. We are. That's our industry. But when you realize what people don't have, it makes you feel good.
Well, it's amazing. And I know we met many years ago when I was starting PartySlate, and you're one of the top event planners in New York. You do destination events, local events. You have such an incredible business. For you to take all of your skill set and put it to work for people that really need it. I always say event planners are the most organized, resourceful people I know, because when you're doing a live event, stuff goes wrong, right? Like you have to think of weather, crises, the drunk uncle, whatever it is, you have to think of something. So our team was so impressed with is how you quickly used your skill set in the 30 years you've been doing this, and, really got the resources to the people, that needed it most. So,
it's funny. I still don't know how we did it, because, at first we were kind of this ad hoc group of people that I never met. I'm like, okay, I'll just, you figure it out as you go along, is what it came down to. And you just kind of figure it out, and you're just like, I can do this. I'll find a way. I will find a way. Yes. And we did. And now we're streamlined, and we really have it under control, the way that we get things distributed. We have a lot of different drop-off points and pickup points, because we also have to be very mindful of, social distancing and not meeting people and being away. So it definitely, That's funny. But you just kind of, you make it, you make it work. You just make it work. And that's just what a planner does. What do? We make it work. We
Now
make it
I'm going
work.
to make it work by making my dog go away. See, this is what I call Insta Live. See, this is the back of my step and repeat. And now I'm going to let my dog out. And there, that's what you call the live show. So, JoAnn, tell us about what's next for you, both in how you see the industry recover, now that we have vaccine out, coming, and we know it's going to be a slow recovery, but a good recovery. But what do you see next, and how will you keep continuing to support these causes that you've gotten so connected to?
Well, I'm never going to let the causes go away. Like my battered women's shelters, we're just on a constant phone bank with these people, and we're helping all the time. So that is now part of my life and part of my mission in life. So that's not going to go away. As far as the industry is concerned, I do have a client that was kind of in charge of all the vaccine distribution. So I'm very much in the know of what we're going to see and how long it's going to last. I think our first quarter is not going to be that great because we're still not going to have confidence, okay, of the people to attend events because we are super spreaders. So, but by the second quarter, we're going to be in a much better position because by April, we should be in the clear. April, May, we should be in a much better place. January, February, March is not going to be that great for the Northeast. Like I said, other people do things much differently, but the Northeast, we're definitely going to be in a little more difficult, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. This vaccine distribution is going to make a world of difference. I do think, though, for the world to travel, 100%, we're going to have to show certificates of vaccination in order to travel.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to get on an airplane unless there's some type of proof that either we've been tested or there's a vaccine proof that we've taken. So I think, there's a light, but it's just a little slow, it's a little slow.
Right.
But
I can feel like second
so
quarter, third quarter, the summer,
much better.
And then definitely the fall. I'm sorry, I could see corporate events coming back. I know social and wedding will come back first, but
100%.
I think people will want to really celebrate and be together and dance, and people, I'm a hugger, hug people, because I just really, we miss seeing each other. And I know you were planning our New York
Party.
premium member event, and this all hit, and we didn't know what to do. I remember myself, I'm like, is this going to be a month? Is it going to be 6 months? What is it going to be? And you were really our voice of kind of leadership of, guys, we can't do it. You're not on the ground in New York. And I'm like, yep, we have to listen to our local partners. And although I wanted to be strong for the industry because we didn't know what it was at the time, it was such the right decision. We could never have had this event at the end of March and April.
It was too risky, and I was getting a lot of I have a partner in Morocco, so I was getting a lot of my input from Europe and what was happening in Europe. So I kind of knew what was going on, and I knew what was headed our way, sadly. So I knew I had to protect everybody. And I didn't want to be that person that was not responsible. I have to be a very responsible person. And I knew I had to kind of say, this is what we're going to do. It's really hard. I'm a mom, as you know, of 6 children. And the most difficult thing is not hugging my children. Mm-hmm. I just met my 2-month-old grandson for the very first time, like 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't hold him. My daughter is still too nervous. So all I could do was look at this beautiful baby. Yeah. So we've been robbed of a lot. We really have. But we also have gained a lot, meaning, we've gained time, with whoever we're with, and we're also gaining a different perspective on life of what really matters. Yes. And I think this whole thing has taught us that stop, breathe, focus, refocus your attention. And with me,
you're getting a lot of hearts on your comments.
I really became empowered with helping the less fortunate, the battered women, helping those frontline workers who are the heroes, true heroes. I'm not. All I did was just fill the need, a void that apparently was, occurred. And I wouldn't have known about this if it wasn't for my own child, right? There's no way I would have been aware of it. So it just really taught me that there's other things more important in life than climbing that ladder, per se. It doesn't matter really.
Yeah. And I think what I love about what you do and what the industry does, we at PartySlate really believe inspired events, inspire people. And I think creating family memories and, getting people together. Maybe you weren't planning on going to that family reunion or that bar mitzvah or traveling across the country for the wedding. I think after, vaccine and after this is behind us, I think more people will do it. I think we're going to want to be together more than ever. And I think the work that this event industry does, including yourself, is really creating these magical experiences. And I think people will value those more than before.
I think it's what's going to happen is that I think what's going to focus more on the important people in your life. I think it's taken, what it's done is it's making people realize that they really want to celebrate with their family. It's going to do the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I don't think they're going to be as grand in the beginning. They're going to be beautiful, and I think they're going to spend money. But I think that we're going to be more intimate because that's what they've been forced to do.
Yes.
And it'll grow again, like it always does. Like it did 9/11, right? We were all like, we were all like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it came back. It will come back. It will. This is not a dead industry. It never will be.
No.
Because in the retrospect of life, you live, you always have weddings, you always have celebrations. That is part of life. That's not going to go away. No. It's just going to be a little more fine-tuned in how we're going to do it. That's all.
And I think people, more personalized, more details. I think I do think you're right that people are going to want to be with their closest friends and family, and then corporate again will take some time, but it's I'm confident. We already see inquiries through PartySlate coming in for big holiday parties next year.
Correct.
So people are making plans, and that's really good to see. But I wanted to know if the award came in the mail.
It did. It's really heavy, actually.
They want to see it.
It's hard to see what it looks like because I'm against the backdrop.
It's beautiful, but
it is beautiful, and it's engraved, and it's really heavy. By the way, it's like super heavy.
It's a good paperweight as well.
It's beautiful. No, it's really beautiful, and I'm really honored. And to be honored with you, I don't feel as if I deserve it because I just did what I had to do. I wasn't doing it for accolades. I was doing it to save people, and that's just an innate thing as a mom is really what it comes down to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, you are, again, one example of so many people that have stepped up during this pandemic and have, looked around, where are the needs, especially with the connection of your daughter, but even beyond your daughter, you've done way, way more than even the healthcare workers, mobilizing people you don't know. I think you had some grandmas sewing masks. And I mean, you have mobilized resources.
It's funny because I just met some of these women. I mean, we actually, we were acknowledged by a few TV shows where they heard about us, and I met these women virtually, and they were so cute. Some of these women, these old grandmothers are like 90 years old sewing for us. Like, what they told us? It gave them a purpose in life. Yeah. They felt they had no purpose, and sewing gave them a purpose, and they are the cutest darn women you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, I saw pictures.
Oh my God.
Of them. Yeah.
It's
just so amazing to see that people can be part during this really crazy, challenging time, especially for the people impacted financially and others, that we could step up, use our skill sets, and help other people, which is so amazing. So I am so proud to know you, and I admire not only the business you built and the brand. You have such a great reputation, so many great relationships in New York and all over the country, but also your willingness to just jump in and do what needs to be done without asking for a thank you. But we would like to give you a thank you because we're just
thank you so much.
Proud to know you and appreciate your leadership. This is kind of our pre-party for tomorrow. Is our first main 2-day virtual event called the Main Event. And this is kind of the informal kickoff to 2 days of kind of geeking out, digital education, panelists talking about what's next. We're excited to have many of the top industry leaders. And we thought it was a perfect way to kick off our main event was to give our annual impact award to you. So
thank you so much.
Congratulations. And I'm sorry about my dog barking. That's like live TV. I like to pretend this is my show.
I'm going to share this with my angels because they are called the sewing angels. So I'm going to share this with these women because it makes what they're doing just so much more meaningful. So I will definitely share it with my ladies for sure.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Well deserved. And I know you're just getting started. You have so much more you can do. We're going to stay in touch, keep us in the loop with all your progress, and let us know how we can help along
I will.
the way.
Thank you so much. Really, can't wait to give you a hug when I see you again.
Give you a virtual hug. This is how I give my hug. All right. Thank you, JoAnn.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.